What is up, Commanders? RTG here, and welcome to Command & Conquer Generals 2. No, this is not a mod, this is the actual Command & Conquer Generals 2 game that was supposedly gonna be released in 2012, 2013, but we all know that that game eventually got cancelled. This was recorded gameplay of the alpha tutorial mission by the user Benji, and they uploaded it to their channel, and I will leave a link to their channel in the description below, and they said I can use their video, talk about it, discuss it, and just go through the video with you guys, because it is rare that we see some footage of Generals 2, because we know that, that game was gonna be released in 2013, eventually went free to play, and then eventually EA pulled the plug on that game. So I just thought to myself, I've not watched this footage. It's about 18 minutes long or so. I've not watched it yet. So it's interesting to see how the game, just looking at the layout of the game, how it follows a similar path to Generals. And at the top you obviously see your general being, I'm assuming that is the USA against probably GLA. But you can see you have your bulldozer, which is the same as in Generals, which is your unit that builds buildings, and then you have your harvester or your resource gathering point, which again, very similar to Generals. And then at the top middle there is of course the timer of the mission itself. As I said, this is a tutorial mission that the user recorded and found by when they sorted out their PC. They said that they eventually found this footage that they recorded from the alpha mission. It is unfortunate that EA never released these assets into the wild. As far as I know, it would have been nice to release some of these assets for modders essentially to use. Then modders could have basically made Generals 2 using these assets. It's quite cute how that little unit hides back into the building. So that is the power plant for the USA, and you need to build an oil derrick. Select your construction vehicle, left click to build the icon, and select the oil derrick. Okay, so not only did you have resources, but like in traditional Generals, but you also had oil. Both oil and gold will eventually deplete. Scouting additional resources necessary, but we'll get to that at a later stage in the tutorial. Okay, so gold is, I'm guessing, so considering you have two different resources, gold and oil, I'm wondering if it's a case of, that certain higher tier units and buildings require gold as well. I didn't get a look at the price there. At the bottom, yes, at the bottom left corner where your minimap is, you can see you have, which I'm guessing is your gold, your resources, which is 15,860 or 16,050 right now, and then you have oil, which is 4,000. So just another thing that you need to have micromanaged while playing the game is considering two resources. I mean, you have a lot of Blizzard games did that, or does that, where you have like wood and you have gold. So you need to. The pathfinding of this bulldozer is terrible. You can see this bulldozer is going around circles. But you have your command center, you have your oil refinery. What was it called? And then you have your power plant, and then you can see there's a turret faded out. There's two different turrets. You have an airfield there. There's probably a barracks and a war factory. There's probably some sort of tech center. I don't know all of the units that was going to be used in Generals. So, it would have been nice to, like I said, have the assets of this game where you could basically, where modders could basically use that, and then make mods from it. I know we have a Generals 2 mod for Red Alert 3 as well as another Generals mod for Command & Conquer Generals, but I've played the Generals 2 mod for Red Alert 3, and it's not that good. It has a lot of the original units from Generals, but the buildings still uses a lot of Red Alert 3 assets. So it's not, I mean, looking at the engine here, it's very similar to Tiberium Wars, more similar to Tiberium Wars than Tiberium Twilight. Yeah, that's the barracks. So then you have your normal infantry and your rocketeers, recon squad and your rocket squad, and then the person playing is obviously gonna build a army now, because they need to, I'm guessing, take out the enemy. I'm guessing that's the point of this tutorial mission. But yeah, like I said, it would have been interesting if EA did release the assets to the public. It is unfortunate that we never got this Command and Conquer. I would have loved to see what Generals 2 would have turned out to be. I mean, as I said in the documentary video that I made, with it being a free-to-play game, many things were taken into consideration when the game eventually got cancelled, aside from the public feedback that wasn't very positive. But had the game be released today, for example, with mission packs being the only purchasable item in the game, so you essentially get everything in the game for free, but you have mission packs or some sort of battle pass system, much like Apex, Fortnite, and those games like Warzone, then it might have been a different story. Because at the moment, if you think free-to-play games, you think of first-person shooters and maybe third-person games like Fortnite. You think of battle royale games. I mean, you have Warzone, you have Fortnite, you have Apex. All those games are shooters, either third or first person. All of them are shooters. But if you think of a strategy free-to-play game with a battle pass system, that would have been very, very interesting. So essentially, you have the base game, which is it's free to play, and then you could have had, you can see here's the enemies. The movement of the enemies, I mean, this is at the top right corner, you see that's alpha preview. So this was an alpha stage, recorded in alpha stage. So the movement of the enemies was a bit either unfinished or, still needed a lot of work. So you can see when the units move, they move, something's off when they move. Okay, now they're going to build a war factory, I'm guessing. I hope they build turrets, and maybe if there's some sort of super weapons, I would love to see that. Getting back to my point, if there was if this was released today, I think how it could have worked is if they released the base game with all of the units for free, but then you had mission packs, essentially campaigns, which you can buy, so you can essentially play the multiplayer for free. Or if you want to play the campaign, then you just buy the campaign, and then there's some sort of battle pass system which allows you to unlock not units, because that would give you an upper advantage if you pay money. So I would say more skins, so your units would look differently but still do the same amount of damage and still do exactly the same. They would just look different, and maybe essentially modifications to your buildings that makes your buildings look different. So if you come into somebody's base and you can see their war factory having certain, I don't know, certain aesthetic aspects to it that's different, then okay, they've played this game a lot, because they've got the battle pass and all that kind of stuff. And maybe like strange stuff like the explosions being all like sparkles or like confetti or something like that. I mean, you see Fortnite do a lot of those weird and funny things, so it would have been interesting if stuff like that would have been implemented in the battle pass. Or maybe voice packs. You unlock voice packs. You have famous people doing voice lines or something to that extent. You could have had a lot with the battle pass system with a strategy game. But nevertheless, it's the game cancelled. Not much you can do about that. Only hope that EA is working on a new Command and Conquer game, which I do think they are. But I've had that feeling for quite a while, but time will tell on that one. But getting back to Generals 2, the visual aspect of this, I really, really like it. I think it's a huge improvement from prior Command and Conquer games, that being Tiberian Wars, Red Alert 3, even Red Alert 3 with its bright visuals. I mean, Red Alert 3 is more of a tongue-in-cheek kind of Command and Conquer with the storyline and the units and all that kind of stuff. So the bright colors does suit for that for that universe, but this more grounded, realistic look is more what Generals is going for, because I mean Command and Conquer Generals was the only game in its universe. I mean, aside from the 0-hour expansion, and you know that did go for a more realistic storyline, realistic approach. So that's your APC, it seems. So a lot of the similar units and buildings from General. So you have your, yeah, like I said, your command center, you have your oil derrick, your power plant, your barracks, your war factory, 2 turrets. That's the second row, the second last one. The second row is probably airfield. I always want to, watching this now, I keep wanting to use my mouse to move over to the buildings, but I know that, I'm not playing, unfortunately. I do wish that I had an opportunity to play this alpha. It would have been so awesome to just play this alpha, record some gameplay, and just seeing how this building's being built. It just, a lot of attention was put into the detail with Generals 2. So your command center is also like a... Right, so you have spy drones when you have your command center. There's exclamation mark on the field on the minimap, which I'm guessing that's the base of the enemy. Activate spy drone. Okay, so I'm gonna activate spy drone now. Okay. So it seems like there's some sort of buggy, like almost like a nod buggy from Command and Conquer Tiberian Wars. So he's probably going to build another supply center, yeah. Usually what I do in Command and Conquer Generals as well. I do like the look of the units on the, like, if you see at the bottom on the bottom right, you have bulldozer 300 out of 300, which is his hit points, and then you have a picture of the bulldozer. I do like that picture. I think the picture of the units in the buildings, I think it's quite nice to see. And then at the bottom there, it shows supply center. Next to supply center shows the amount of buildings you have. So you have 2 barracks. It seems like 2 supply centers, 1 command center, and 1 power plant. That's what I'm guessing. That's what that is, because the shape of the number 2 in the middle looks like the shape of the barracks that he had just built, or the user had just built. But yeah, the engine used here, I really like it. I hope that EA uses a similar engine if they do make a new Command and Conquer. Of course, the visuals will look much better than what it looks now, but still. Right, so probably gonna explore these units, and here comes some GLA units. The same units as in Generals 2, just with a little bit of an upgraded look. Very similar to Generals, which is what I like. I like that they kept the look of Generals. And then at the bottom, if you see a picture of the General there, with all his abilities, you have the spy drone there, and then at the bottom there's a star with a 1, and then the yellow bar. I'm guessing that's the rating, the experience. And the user seemed to have dropped a healing thing, which, here's interesting. Then you have your APC, then you have 2 tanks, and you have another unit. Obviously this resource area is depleted, so they're probably sending their harvesters to that resource center. I have no idea what's happening now, because it has a strange sound that's happening. So it seems like you have healing abilities and then repair abilities, but the repair ability has not been unlocked yet because it's not green highlighted. The green arrows splitting in 4 ways is most likely unpacking the APCs, and then the one next to it is dropping a healing thing, which you just did. Okay, so you have your MMG turret, you have your airfield advanced tech lab, specs of facility cannon tech lab, and then okay, you have your orbital collider. Alright, so you do have a super weapon, you have a tech center, you had your 2 cannons, you had your airfield. So I was right, that last one is a super building, your super weapon. Again, with the recon squad, if you look at the pictures at the right bottom, you have your 3 guys standing there. Which I do like. I do like those pictures. Not really sure what the idea is of what the user is doing right now. What he's doing with that harvester. But I see the video is almost done, so it shouldn't be too long. Just some closing thoughts is, again, I wish that EA did release the assets of this game so that people can use it in mods. That would have been absolutely amazing. That EA said, you know, the game didn't work out, but here's the assets, go wild, and then the mod community would have completely consumed the assets and make mods of their own. But, you know, unfortunately that didn't happen. But nevertheless, you know, if EA can pull off Command & Conquer Remastered Collection successfully, which undoubtedly I think they will pull it off, definitely, and it'll be interesting to see what comes of that. Will we see another Remastered Collection, or will we see a completely new Command & Conquer? And I won't be surprised if we see both, to be honest. And the remaster, this is air raid, increase the number of air. Okay, so he's dropping air. Okay, so that's all. You just needed to do that. That's pretty much it. And then victory, of course. The V looking very similar to Victory Games, which then made the Command & Conquer, the free-to-play Command & Conquer. But yeah, that is Command & Conquer's Generals 2. As I said, this video was recorded in closed alpha in 2013, and the player played as the EU faction. So I just want to give a huge shout out to that user that allowed me to use this video footage. And if anybody else has some more General 2 footage that they have on their computer or somewhere, please send it my way. I would love to have a look at it and just dissect it and just cry over the game we never got. But nevertheless, this was Command & Conquer Generals 2, which eventually turned into the free-to-play Command & Conquer, which was eventually then cancelled. So if you guys have any thoughts about this, then let me know in the comment sections below what your thoughts are on this video game, this gameplay video. And if you want to see the entire video without comments, I will leave a link in the description below to that video that I got this from. And again, I just want to shout out a huge shout out to the user that allowed me to use this. But for more Command & Conquer news and footage, check out the rest of my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, then give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, then give me a thumbs down. But please tell me why, so I can improve my videos. My name is Frank, I'm the RedTieGuy, and frankly, thank you for watching. Catch you guys in the next video.